Good evening, Tallahassee. I'm student meteorologist AJ Willie.
And I'm student meteorologist Michael Lennon.
We had our first 80-degree day in Tallahassee since January 1st.
Yep.
So finally, almost closing off this week with another beautiful, perfect springtime day here in Tallahassee.
Yeah, it was really warm out there. I actually like this weather where it's in the upper 70s to around 80 degrees. Some people think, oh, this is a little bit too much too early. But
yeah, I mean, when you're used to 50, it kind of feels a little bit warm.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you we'll be begging for these 80-degree days to return once we get into mid-July and mid-August.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, unfortunately, we're going to get some changes tomorrow, but not that significant in terms of changes, just a little bit of a cool down.
Yeah, temperatures only cooling down into the mid-60s for the weekend. Not expecting a lot of rain, just a few chances for some scattered showers throughout the weekend ahead, but we'll definitely dive into that more as we progress throughout the show.
Yeah, but if you look at the country right now, it's like you're in two different worlds, basically. You're either in nice toasty southeast, or you're freezing in the northwest or in the Midwest. Yeah,
we'll also get to that later. That's actually one of the coolest graphics we're going to show tonight. You can really see where the front is on the map that's going to be moving through, very slightly moving through our area tomorrow. It's going to be pretty weak.
Yeah, it is. Right now, the temperature drop is very sharp, and that's a 15-mile span in some places. But we're going to talk about that even more throughout the show. For now, let's go to Dylan with our overview.
You guys asked for the spring-like temperatures. Well, we delivered. Unfortunately, we didn't control it. The weather delivered on that. 73 degrees outside is our current temperature. We hit 80 since January 1st, as Michael said. Feeling more like summer, honestly, to me, than it is spring or winter. So it's very warm for this time of year. We're definitely above average. On our satellite radar, though, clear in terms of most of the clouds, though. Only these upper-level clouds is why it said partly cloudy on the last graphic. But in terms of lower-level cumulus clouds, like the puffy white ones that cause storms, we're not seeing any of those. And the big system we're tracking that we're going to look forward to is this cold front that's draping down much of the eastern part of the country. It's not expected to stay together. It's expected to break up as it moves eastward into our area. And that's why we'll see clearer skies as we go into the weekend. Tomorrow morning, though, waking up to 56 degrees as our low, so very warm again, and the chance of fog with that moisture still sticking around into the morning. And then coming up later on today's show, we'll talk about the nice weekend ahead once the cold front passes, the rain possibly coming back next week, and then we'll have your basketball forecast where we'll shout out Harrison. But now let's send it over to Catherine to take a look at the southeast.
Yeah, thanks, Dylan. So this is a first look at where our temperature gradient is that AJ mentioned at the desk. So Little Rock, Arkansas is sitting at 37 degrees currently, and then just over the Mississippi border in Jackson is 65 degrees. So it's a pretty steep gradient between state lines. And so if we go into our next graphic, our dew point temperatures also help to reinforce this cold front sitting between Little Rock and Jackson, Mississippi. And so it's relatively dry in Arkansas right now. And then as we get into New Orleans and the Mobile area, our dew point temperatures are a little bit higher, so there's a lot more moisture down there in the Gulf. Our winds help to also show us where our front is currently situated, with it splitting kind of New Orleans and Jackson right in half. We have winds out of the southeast down through the Gulf, and then up towards Little Rock we have winds out of the north, bringing in cooler temperatures for folks up in northwestern parts of Arkansas. But down in the Gulf, conditions are pretty warm, but nothing too warm. But okay, here's our temperature change. This is a fun graphic. Temperature change over the last 24 hours. Little Rock had a 34-degree drop in temperature within 24 hours, and Shreveport 35 degrees. And then if we work over to Florida, our temperatures only increased, but not too much, but that's a pretty significant drop in 24 hours. Here's a look at the precipitation that's sitting just ahead of our cold front. At the leading edge of every cold front, there's usually some precipitation. Heavy showers Thursday over the last 3 hours in Arkansas, and then this is our little band that's going to be coming through the area into tomorrow, but it should break up as it gets to the Tallahassee area. But if we go into our futurecast into Thursday night, this is where our precipitation is currently located, but as we play our graphics, we can see that the system kind of disappears as it heads towards the Gulf, and then this is into Friday early morning, and then as we head into the early morning commuting hours, 7 a.m., our system kind of breaks up, and so there's a chance of precipitation, but nothing too much in the Tallahassee area. But just beyond in Jackson and Little Rock, things clear up and it's dry conditions behind it, temperatures should also drop in those areas. And then as this system kind of moves through into the evening and overnight hours, we see a wind shift kind of change in Texas, and so our temperatures aren't going to drop so much in the Louisiana, Mobile, Alabama area into tomorrow, but temperatures just beyond from the cold front will drop temperatures in the more northern southeastern states. That is a mouthful, more northern southeastern states. But so tonight's forecast, here's our temperature difference. Little Rock, 22 degrees, and then just over the border, 35 degrees in Jackson, Mississippi, and then the rest of the southeast sitting at relatively warmer conditions. And I'm going to send things over with AJ as he zooms into the local forecast.
Yep, right. I'm going to, give us a look at our first local forecast here. I do believe that we got up to, 80 degrees today was our high, only 2 degrees off from that record of 82 we set back in 1957. So temperatures were well above average for this time of year. Jake, one of our usual Thursday weathercasters, was telling me earlier that in the last 2 years we've had 19 days in February where we reached the 80-degree mark. So we'll be continuing to keep an eye on that as we continue progress throughout February ahead. Currently sitting at 73 degrees with mostly sunny skies here in the capital city. Winds are still out of the south, keeping things on the warmer side for us here in Tallahassee. Satellite radar here, you can see that big low pressure system wreaking havoc on much of the northern plains area, bringing a lot of rain to much of the central plains, moving into the Ohio Valley region. And this cold front will continue to move towards the Tallahassee region, but as Catherine alluded to earlier, not going to bring us any real effects here in Tallahassee. Here locally, mostly clear skies for your Thursday. It was a very, very nice and pleasant day for us here in Tallahassee. We're expecting this cloud cover to increase as we get into the overnight hours, into the early morning hours of Friday. Chance for some fog early Friday morning. Currently around the region, Tallahassee at 73 degrees, and I don't know if I agree with that mostly cloudy skies. I think it's still pretty sunny outside. Pair of 7s over in Quincy, 73 degrees also in Thomasville with mostly sunny skies. Dew points are on the higher ends for this time of year. Usually we're seeing dew points in the upper 40s to lower 50s, but currently sitting at 61-degree dew point here in Tallahassee, 59-degree dew point in Quincy, and a pair of 5s over in Bainbridge. Your futurecast here as we progress throughout the evening hours on Thursday, still remaining mostly clear for your Thursday evening. Waking up Friday morning, you can see that stray shower making its way into the northeastern part of the Big Bend, or the northwestern part of the Big Bend region, expecting some more fog for your Friday morning. I know we've had a lot of foggy mornings this week. Another foggy morning on Friday, and then as we progress throughout the day on Friday, that stray chance of shower moves through the region, and by Friday afternoon into Friday evening, things are clearing up once again, so expect Friday to be a very nice and pleasant day once again. Friday morning, temperatures will be in the mid-50s with chance for that fog again. Winds will be mostly calm here in Tallahassee. As we get into tomorrow afternoon, after those showers move through the region earlier in the day, temperatures will struggle to reach that 70-degree mark as that cold front moves through with, you can see those northerly winds at 14 miles per hour coming back into Tallahassee. Your 4FSU weather 7-day forecast here has 70 degrees for your Friday with just that 20% chance of showers in the morning. And then as we get into the weekend, it's going to be a very nice and pleasant weekend with temperatures at 69 degrees for your Saturday and your Sunday before the rain chances return early next week. But for now, I'm going to send things back over to the desk with Michael and Catherine. What you guys got?
Yeah, thanks, AJ. While it's been warm here in Tallahassee, go the other side of the country up towards the northwest. Very cold, and it's cold enough for some snow.
Yes, lots of snowfall falling out in the northwestern parts of the United States. I know my brother's skiing out in Montana right now, and they've got 14 inches in the last 24 hours.
Yeah, out towards Seattle. It's been a pretty snowy week up there. On Monday, they got 3 inches at the airport in Seattle-Tacoma, but 8 inches around the foothills. But tomorrow, another snowstorm coming for them.
Yeah, and that's a big deal because we typically think of Seattle as having a lot of precipitation, but it's usually just kind of drizzly and misty. Yeah. So a significant snowfall event like this is definitely out of the norm.
Yeah, there's a huge dip in the jet stream up towards the northwest U.S. That's what's causing the very below average temperatures, basically causing the snow. It's that cold for some snow.
And there's obviously enough moisture in the air where they do get some snow, so hopefully those folks stay safe. It'll be treacherous conditions along I-95. I'm used to I-95, but I-5, so they should be prepared to battle snow.
Yeah, and while Monday's snow was considered the appetizer, we're going to
geez.
consider this weekend's snow the entree. 7 to 10 inches of snow expected in the Seattle region. But let's take a look at what's happening across the rest of the nation. You'll see that it's very cold up towards the northern plains, with temperatures in the single digits in places like in Billings and and 10 degrees in Billings, but very cold up towards Minneapolis as well. You can see 14 degrees up towards Minneapolis. There we were saying about Seattle, 38 degrees. It's going to be even colder as we go into tomorrow with that snow from that next storm system that's going to impact the western United States. But you see out towards the southeast, that's the warm spot for now, as this cold front will move through, bringing in the cooler-like condition, but not cold conditions. The cold is going to stay up towards the north. So you see 76 in Atlanta and 73 here in Tallahassee. You can also tell where this front is. We've been talking about the entire show. Pretty spring-like and a little bit early summer-like dew points down towards the southeast, with 68 in New Orleans and 61 in Tallahassee. The cold Arctic dew points are up towards the northern plains, -3 in Billings, 3 in Kansas City, and 12 in Minneapolis. Again, that colder air is going to basically be confined up towards the Midwest and the interior sections of the Northeast. The upper level water vapor also shows you where this cold front is, with a little bit of moisture ahead of it down towards the south. A lot of the moisture is up towards Ottawa and in Toronto. You can see a lot of moisture in the form of snow, ice, freezing rain, as well as some liquid rain. That's what our satellite and radar does show. You can see not much moisture down towards Louisiana and Texas. A little bit more moisture up towards the Ohio River Valley. That's where we have flood watches and warnings in effect. And then up above that low pressure system, you can see some snow up towards the Great Lakes. And we're going to zoom into that with our favorite city of Duluth. That is our city for the weekend weather challenge. So it's a pretty interesting city to forecast for, and they're under a winter storm warning for the time being until tomorrow morning. And in orange, you have this blizzard warning, so that snow and wind causing some very treacherous driving conditions. Winter weather advisory, less threatening snowfall amounts down there. But behind the storm system, you're going to be very cold with some wind chill warnings and wind chill advisory. Very dangerous conditions up there. Out towards Cincinnati and Cleveland, Ohio, you can see there's some heavy rain showers, but this is basically exacerbating the flooding conditions we had there. That's why we have a flood watch and a flood warning. That was in effect in red. Now, out towards the northwest, you can see we do have cloudy conditions right now. Snow is expected, as we were saying. So that's in the blue and in pinks with winter storm watches and warnings. Cold for tonight, but as we go into tomorrow, you see the cold stays up towards the north and down towards the southeast. The only warm spot on the map is Florida in the upper 70s. But for now, we're going to send it off to Dylan with a look at around Florida.
Thank you very much, Michael. Well, looking at around Florida, you can start to see where we have the cooler conditions peaking just a little bit, but Florida still sitting in those 70s throughout much of the state. Just a bit of cloud cover, a little heavier cloud cover over westward in Pensacola. But again, pretty comfortable conditions throughout, feeling summer-like or late spring-like rather than these winter temperatures. It's February 7th, folks. It is so warm for the state of Florida. Dew points, though, a little soupy, as people will call it, over in Pensacola, just ahead of the front, bringing in a bit more moisture to them. But throughout much of the state, honestly, these dew points are very comfortable, not on the bad side, but a little higher than this time of year. So it might feel a little moist and a little more muggy to folks that aren't used to this, but it's still not too bad. And in terms of clouds, too, we only got a bit of upper-level moisture bringing these high-level clouds to North Florida. But throughout much of the state, you might have a low-level cloud or two, but nothing too big, nothing really too noticeable for now. Looking at South Florida, though, they're going to continue this nice pattern into tomorrow. But again, warmer conditions still sticking around. Cooler on the coast where they get that sea breeze to cool them off a bit. But cloud cover is possible at the lower levels when you get these sea breeze showers coming in and possibly firing up just a bit. Maybe a rain shower too in Fort Lauderdale for folks there. Moving up to the northern part of the state, they're still seeing some clouds, some upper level clouds, and they're going to see some clouds tomorrow too, and the warm temperatures as well. Sitting at 81 degrees in Ocala, 82 in Gainesville. It is very hot there. On the coast, though, in St. Augustine and Palm Coast, 73 and 74. So more comfortable if you're out on the coast. If you want to go to the beach, honestly, not too bad. Get some sun. But it's not too warm yet in terms of water temperature, so you might not want to get in the water. As we look at the interesting part of Florida, while the rest is boring, we start to see the cloud cover really pick up a bit on the western part, and we start to see tomorrow's forecast where that front that we've been all looking at starts to make its way through. You see some rain chances over westward and clouds, but then the rain moving over eastward and starting to get in the 60s and 50s again back in Florida, so more seasonally average this time of year. Tonight, though, we start to see the rain showers come into Pensacola, and then throughout much of the state, we're cooling down a bit, but still warmer than average for this time of year. And then tomorrow's forecast, warm conditions throughout the southern part. Florida has outlived other teams in terms of a battle royale, it seems like, with the other states. Seeing some rain chances on the western part, cooling off there. But then South Florida, Miami, West Palm Beach, warmer conditions, cracking the 80s again for the second day in a row. So warm conditions coming back. But right now, I'm going to send it over to Catherine, take a look at the local.
Yeah, thanks, Dill. I really like your language that you're using tonight. It's very, very fluffy and very pretty. But current conditions sitting at 73 degrees with mostly sunny skies. Winds out of the south-southeast at 7 miles an hour. Winds out of the south bringing in more moist conditions, so that's kind of why it feels a little bit soupy outside. We zoom out a little bit. Tallahassee sitting at 73 degrees. AJ said we kind of disagree with this icon, saying that it's cloudy, but Quincy sitting at 75 degrees, Bainbridge just north of us, 79 degrees. Temperature is still relatively high for this time of the night. Dew points still kind of high, but nothing too high where humidity or moisture in the atmosphere is of much concern, but still making it kind of uncomfortable outside. Here's our winds out of the south coming over the ocean. Our ocean temperatures are much cooler than the land surface temperatures, so that is setting up to bring in some cloudier conditions and cooler air at the coastal areas. So temperatures should be a little bit lower towards the coast. But if we zoom out, here's our low pressure system that's draped along much of the United States across the Ohio River Valley, bringing in some precipitation for much of the northeastern parts of the country. But this low pressure system is going to come in Friday, but fizzle out. It should bring clouds and a little bit of cooler temperatures just behind it. Here's a look at our current satellite and radar. Nothing much to see here. Cloudy, no clouds in the sky, so it'll set up to be a good time for to watch the sunset tonight. Futurecast into tonight. Clear skies with some passing clouds coming through, and if we play our graphic or futurecast, here's our low pressure system, our cold front coming through the area 6:30 a.m. Expect foggy conditions in the morning, so if you have to drive, make sure you keep your high or low beams on. That's just a driver safety thing. And then if we play our graphic some more into the afternoon hours, our cold front will pass through, maybe a chance of precipitation, some drizzly conditions, and then it'll pass out, it'll come out later in the evening and opening up for sunnier conditions as we head into the evening hours. So hopefully a good sunset for tomorrow, and then our temperatures will decrease behind this cold front, so that'll be a good break for the warm conditions that we've been experiencing. Tonight's forecast all across the area, mid to upper 50s, so Bainbridge seeing some precipitation as the front passes through the area. And then into tomorrow's forecast, Tallahassee's high is 70 degrees. That'll probably be most likely in the morning hours, but temperature should decrease as the day goes on. And then we'll take it our 7-day forecast. Friday will set up to be a pretty nice day. Chance of precipitation 20%, high of 70 degrees, but Saturday and Sunday are high of 69 degrees. It'll be a great weekend. Florida State men's basketball plays Saturday, Louisville, 4 p.m. Get out there, and I'm sure there's a bunch of other sporting events going on, so it'll be a great weekend if there's any outdoor events. I don't have them off the top of my head. But as we head into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, our precipitation chance increases, so the beginning to our work week will not look as pleasant as the weekend that we will be experiencing. But our temperatures do begin to increase again as the front passes through the area and then bringing in warm temperatures behind it in early next week. I'm going to send things back over to the desk.
Thank you, Catherine. And yeah, some other sporting events going on this weekend. The softball team, defending national champions, start their season tomorrow. We also have Baseball Fan Day going on Saturday, so plenty of sporting events to go to this weekend. It's going to be a gorgeous weekend.
Yeah, you're going to have those graphics and that forecast right after this segment. On this segment, though, we're talking about, we're seeing fronts come through in the pressure change and how that affects migraines. I don't know if you've experienced that
Yeah,
before.
no, this is definitely something that I never knew it was because of the pressure change, but I always used to wake up when we would go from a 75-degree day to a 60-degree day and it's raining. And I'm like, why do I have this headache? But yeah, it's due to the pressure changes that are associated with the high and low pressure systems moving through an area.
Yeah, in Japan, they did a study that when the pressure decreased, the sales of migraine medicine went up drastically. So showing a correlation. Correlation doesn't necessarily equal causation, but there's clearly some correlation there between that. I get headaches all the time when the front passes through or head of a front, about a day about. So I felt a little like I had a headache today, but not too bad.
Yeah, I mean, and pressure changes are definitely the biggest contributor to having migraines and headaches, but there's also some other triggers that can really help, or not help, but can really cause headaches and stuff.
Yeah, and sunlight is really one of those too. And you're going to talk about some sunlight chances this weekend with some baseball forecasts that we talked about earlier. AJ, you want to talk about those baseball
you know,
forecasts?
if you've been tuning in on your Thursday, you definitely know what's coming next after the final desk, and that's going to be our lifestyle forecast.
Yep.
So if you want to go ahead and throw those graphics up there. Thank you, Lorenz.
Some rays on
our thankful producer, Lorenz. If you're going to be heading out to the res tomorrow, it could really be your first day of the year that you can go out to the res. Temperatures will be climbing up right about to that 70-degree mark with mostly sunny to partly sunny skies. We're going to have to dodge that chance for rain in the morning that we've been talking to. And our favorite graphic for the Thursday show is your golf forecast. Wouldn't be a Thursday show without it. So if you're heading out to the links tomorrow, 8 a.m., it's going to be a very nice and pleasant day to head out and play some golf by noon. Temperatures getting up into the mid-60s and upper 60s by about 3 p.m. in the afternoon. Heading out and about for your Friday night around Tallahassee, it's going to be a very nice and comfortable night. 58 degrees, mostly cloudy skies, keeping our temperatures on the higher end for the overnight hours with those northerly winds coming at about 10 miles per hour. Heading out to the FSU basketball game on Saturday, one of our own, Harrison Prieto, scored a solid 2 points in their game on Tuesday against the Syracuse Orange. Head out and support the FSU weather program as well as the FSU basketball program. Mostly cloudy skies, but not expecting any rain in the Tallahassee area for the game on Saturday. Now your 3-day weekend forecast here has 71 degrees for your Friday, 69 degrees for your Saturday and your Sunday, with mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies for the entire weekend. It's going to be a very nice weekend ahead. Your Futurecast here, and I do remind you that this Futurecast does start at noon tomorrow, so this is your Futurecast going into the weekend hours. Mostly cloudy for your Friday afternoon, and then those clouds start to clear out as we get into the early morning hours on Saturday, and then right about game time for FSU basketball, still expecting mostly clear skies with some clouds starting to creep their way into the area as we get into Saturday evening. But for now, I'm going to send things over to Michael with our final look at our local forecast. Take it away, Mike.
Yeah, let's take a look at what's happening here locally in Tallahassee. And you see, still pretty warm out there, 73 degrees with mostly sunny, mostly clear skies now as the sun has set. The reason why it's still warm, southerly winds out of the Gulf at 7 miles per hour. The similar story across our region here in the Big Bend, 73 here in Tallahassee, 77 is our warm spot up towards Bainbridge, and a little bit cooler down towards the coast because of that southerly wind, so 67 with clear skies in Apalachicola. Also because of that southerly wind, you're getting a little bit more moisture and it feels more late spring-like with those dew points. 61 here in Tallahassee, 61 also in Quincy, and 61 as well in Apalachicola with 50-degree dew points in our Georgia counties in Bainbridge and Thomasville. Now, the reason why we're getting the southerly wind and all that moisture is because of this low pressure system right in the center part of our country, bringing in that moisture from the Gulf. And once this cold front does move through, it will knock down our temperature to back where this should be for this time of year. And fortunately, we're not going to get much rain from this, just a few clouds and a sprinkle or two possible tomorrow morning. But it is going to knock our temperatures back to where they should be for this time of year. But for now, endure the warm weather while it lasts. You'll get that one more night until the changes start to come in tomorrow morning. And that's what our Futurecast does show. Thursday, for the evening hours, mostly clear skies with a few clouds down towards the coast, down towards Apalachicola. Now, as we head into tomorrow morning, we will have to deal with that morning fog as there's still a lot of moisture in the air. And a very stray shower. The rain chances are a little bit higher the further north and west you go. But you watch this line just basically fizzle out as it moves through Tallahassee. And then by the time we get to the evening, I think the clouds will clear enough where you get a perfect recipe for a great sunset here in Tallahassee. So I think the sunset tomorrow is going to be absolutely gorgeous if you get the chance. But for tonight's forecast, one more of this warmish kind of night where you get some fog in the morning. So 56 degrees here in Tallahassee with partly cloudy skies, 58 in Quincy, 58 in Apalachicola, and 55 in St. Mark's. And then as that cold front does move through tomorrow, have a stray shower, especially in the morning hours. But it's going to be a bit cooler compared to the last few days. 70 here in Tallahassee, 68 in Quincy, and then 67 up towards Thomasville. Your day planner does show you that chance of a shower in the morning, only warming up to 70 degrees. And that 7-day forecast does show you nice weekend, 69 for both Saturday and Sunday. And then as we head throughout the work week, you see the rain chances do return as that cold front does move back up as a warm front from Central Florida. But let's send it off to Catherine and Dylan to wrap up the show.
Thanks, Michael. It looks like the weather knew when the weekend was and cleared out 2 perfect days for the weekend. It's a little more average for temperatures, not too warm. You're not going to be sweating.
Well, I might still be sweating, but that's a personal problem.
I mean, it depends where you're from and the temperatures you're used to. Me as a South Floridian, I like the cooler temperatures. So this deviation from normal temperatures that we've seen the last couple of days hasn't been my favorite.
And this is fun to think about because I think in the last a month or two ago or into the first semester, every weekend was rainy.
Yes.
It was the same consistent pattern where it was good conditions throughout the week and then rainy.
But I mean, the only 2 days, except Thursday at the end of the day, that aren't rainy in this weekend is Saturday and Sunday. So it cleared out perfectly.
Good weekend. I'm super excited to get out there.
Goldilocks would say this weekend is just right.
Yeah, I guess Goldilocks would say that.
I mean, Goldilocks is not a meteorologist. She wasn't mentioned on be a meteorologist or national weather person.
You're right, but you know what? We should make a holiday because they rely on a groundhog to
I mean, we do
predict the weather. We might as well just throw Goldilocks into it.
Goldilocks holiday. Goldilocks predicts the weather.
Yeah, I think so.
But again, great conditions this weekend. Honestly, if you want to go out, go hiking, go canoeing, anything, not getting in the water, but anything outside is perfect for this weekend.
Yeah, I would say so. There's the Florida State Fair. Is it called the State Fair?
Yeah, it's the Florida State Fair. It's not the Florida State University Fair. It's the Florida State Fair. That's down in Tampa.
That looks like they have good grilled cheese sandwiches. But go ahead and follow us on Twitter.
You can also like us on Facebook at facebook.com/FSU Weather.
And watch us live on YouTube every day at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, and you can also watch our old broadcasts and then follow us on Instagram as well at FSU Weather. Yeah, but we're all over social media if you want to keep up with us. We'll post to social media after this for a more condensed look at what the show brought you today.
Social media update.
Yeah,
Look out for it.
But for all of us here at FSU Weather, I'm student meteorologist Dylan Leith.
And I'm student meteorologist Catherine Busick. Thanks for tuning in.
Have a great night, folks.